Good day, everyone. I am Tresha Clandi Bassett, a third year business administration student. Today, I'll be discussing to you about the orientation. What is orientation? It is a procedure for providing new employees with basic background information about the organizations. So, orientation is a systematic and planned introduction of employees to their jobs, their coworkers, and the organizations. So, typically, orientations conveys three types of informations. These are the general information about daily work routine, a review of the organization's history, a detailed presentation, perhaps in a brochure of the organization's policies, work rule, and employees' benefits. Orientation has objectives. These are to assist new employees in performing favorable initial impressions that they belong to the firm, are welcome, and are supported. Next is to assist in understanding the culture and values, to improve staff efficiency, work standards, revenue, and profits, to improve staff morale. So, there are a lot of types of information, so I will just give two out of it. These are the formal and informal orientation. The first one is formal orientation. This has a structured program. This helps a new hire in acquiring a known set of standards. On the other hand, informal orientation is employees directly put in a job and promotes innovative ideas. Choice depends on management's goals. Next is, what are the problems of orientations? This includes too much information, busy or untrained supervisor. In order to have a successful orientation, first is systematic plan should be followed. The aim should be convey a clear picture of the working of the organizations. Purpose of orientation. One of the primary goals of an orientation program is to help individuals adjust to their new work environment. Orientation's goals are to familiarize new hires with your organization's history, present projects, and future ambitions. Inform them of any applicable policies and procedures. So, who is responsible for orientation? The responsible for orientations or the managers are in charge of ensuring that personnel are properly oriented. The manager, supervisor, co-workers, payroll, and human resources may all be present for the orientation. Human resources are in charge of creating and implementing a departmental orientation program. There are four levels of orientation. The first one is the pre-orientation stage. Pre-orientation stage begins before the start date of your new employees and involves sending a package of information via email or postal service. This package typically includes documents such as an organizational chart, vision statement, mission statement, and the explanations of benefits. Annual report and a checklist of what the actual orientation is will cover. Sending a pre-orientation package increases the level of comfort your hires will have when they have to work on their first day, and it allows them to prepare questions in advance. Second stage will be the introduction to the job site stage. In this orientation stage, your goal is to make new hires comfortable in their new work environment. In the first part of this orientation stage, new recruits are given information about your company's aims, objectives, culture, organizational structure, strategic plan, customer base, and future goals. The second part of this orientation stage is typically a tour of the workplace, including seeing equipment, identifying potential safety hazards, and meeting some of the managers and supervisors in each department. So the purpose of this job site orientation is to make your new hires familiar with the basic layout of the company and to understand the general precepts that govern how the workplace functions. Orientation usually takes a day to complete. So the third one is the job-specific orientation stage. In this stage, new hires are given job or task-specific orientation, typically by their immediate supervisor. New employees learn details about their specific department or team including information about breaks, absences, parking facilities, personal phone calls, email, and internet policy, as well as the standards of the performance for their work. The goal is to shrink the orientation to the actual task that the new employee will perform with an understanding of the normal workday process that will ensure maximum efficiency. Lastly, the follow-up orientation stage. There are multiple levels of orientation that last several days. The truth is the new hire orientation is a months-long process. That's why the follow-up stage is so critical. It allows you to determine how well your new employee is adjusting to the job. Follow-up usually occurs on a weekly basis. Supervisors or managers meet with the new employee to discuss any issues and problems that have arisen. Supervisors should encourage new employees to ask questions and honestly express challenges they are facing. The follow-up orientation stage lets you determine how well your employee is performing assigned duties and also reveals how well your company has done in providing all the tools and help necessary for new hires to flourish. Of all the levels of the orientation, this one is most critical to long-term success. So, always remember that your company will only be successful if you hire the right people and train them properly. The employee orientation process is a critical component of the first training. Orientation is commonly used to describe the process of inducting new workers or introducing current employees to new workplace technologies, procedures, and rules. Employee orientation must be thorough and include information and expected performance, working hours, perks, breaks, rules, and other essential topics. Understanding the steps of the employee orientation process will help you better your handling of this critical component of your business. That's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenna Marie Oyarte, third year student taking up Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. And as for today's video, I am going to discuss the 4 subtopics about orientation and training. The first one is how orientation programs are presented. A firm needs to make strategic choices before deciding its orientation program. They are formal or informal, individual or collective, and serial or disjunctive. Formal orientation. The management has a structured program which is executed when new employees join the firm. Informal orientation. New hires are directly put on the jobs and they are expected to adapt themselves with the work and the company. Individual orientation. It is more likely to preserve individual differences and perspectives. Orienting each person separately is an expensive and time-consuming process. Collective orientation. Most large firms tend to have the collective orientation approach to solve the problems within the organization. Serial orientation. It becomes serial when an experienced employee inducts a new hire. The experienced employee acts as a tutor and model for the new hire. Disjunctive orientation. When new hires do not have predecessors available to guide them or model their behavior upon. The next one is what is training? Training, a process whereby people acquire capabilities to aid in the achievement of organizational goals. Training tries to improve a specific skill related to the job. Training means imparting the knowledge, skills, and aptitudes necessary to undertake the required jobs efficiently with a view to developing the workers to his fullest potential. Who are responsible during trainings? A company needs both human resource and operations to have an effective employee training. Human resource. It targets the long-term training goals of an organization. The HR understands that money spent on training will return as an increased productivity due to highly skilled workers, so it can help operations to realize the long-term returns. In operations, it targets the here and now training goals. It has a short-term view on employee training and development, which ensures it's always in line with the most urgent business needs. And the last one is, what is the importance of training? Training is important because it controls attrition rate. It helps in motivating people to stay on acquired new skills and remain continually useful to the organization. and it helps in increasing the job knowledge and skills of employee at each level.
Importance of training. Every business organization constantly trains, develops, and educates its employee to ensure that each employee is able to perform the assigned duties most effectively and efficiently. First, to increase productivity. It is the instruction that can help employees increases the level of performance. Second, to improve quality of work. Workers are trained, used by machines, tools, and materials in a proper way. And they also maintain uniformity in work methods and thus make fewer mistakes. Third, to decrease learning period. It is a systematic training and a program that helps to reduce the time and cost involved in learning. And they need not waste their time and efforts in learning through trial and error. Fourth, to reduce cost. Trained employees make more economical use of materials and machinery, thereby reducing wastage and spoilage. Maintenance cost is also reduced due to fewer machine breakdown and better handling of equipment. Fifth, to improve health and safety. A proper training that can prevent industrial accidents, where employees are trained by following right work method and make use of the prescribed safety devices. 6. To improve organizational climate. Training improves organizational climate, as well-trained employees tend to be self-reliant and motivated. They need less guidance and control, and thus they have less supervisory pressure. And industrial relations and discipline are improved. 7. To help in personal growth of employees. The training helps employees to enhance their individual knowledge and skills. It is beneficial for the employees by ways of increasing. 8. Self-confidence. The training also helps to improve the self-confidence of an employee. They tend to become self-reliant and motivated. 9th, safety. Training helps an employee to use various safety devices. They can avoid accidents on the job. 10th, adaptability. Training enables an employee to adapt the changes in work procedure and methods, which more mobile and pursue career goals activity. The other one is higher earnings. Training makes employees more efficient and effective. They can produce more with minimum effort and thereby earn more. The other one is promotion. Employee can develop himself and earn promotional easily. The last one is new skill. Training provides new knowledge and skill among employees. This makes him more useful to a firm. And now let's proceed to the assessing training needs. A training needs assessment is a process that companies and other organizations use to determine performance requirements and the knowledge, abilities, and skills that their employees need to achieve the requirements. There are 3 levels of training needs assessment. These include the following. Organizational level. A training needs assessment that the organizational level is a macro level assessment that helps you determine areas where your employees lack the necessary skills or knowledge and provide need-based training. The organizational level helps you clearly define measurable outcomes for training that allowing you to improve the chances of success of the training program. Second, operational level. Operational level, also known as task or job level. It determines what kind of training do your employees need to achieve a specified level of proficiency. It involves task analysis, which determines the knowledge and skills required for specific tasks and correlates these requirements to the actual knowledge and skills of your employee. The gaps or problems revealed in this analysis can be used to determine the kind of training your employees need. The third one, individual level. The individual or personal level determines how each employee performs his or her role. The difference between the actual performance and the expected performance helps you determine if there is really a need for TNA at the individual level. At the individual level gives also a complete picture of your employees, that performance and whatever their performance meets expected standards. And now let's proceed to the methods of identifying training needs. First is the observation. It is a very simple method used to collect data for training needs analysis. This is all about visually confirming the work of employees during work situations. This observation provides data on performance gaps. It involves taking the notes, and hence, the quality of note-taking is very important. Second, interviews. The interviews involve one-to-one conversations that help in exploring ideas, values, opinions, and different viewpoints. These include both structured and non-structured approaches. Regardless of the approach used, it is quite important to take good notes reflecting the interview. Third, focus group discussions. The interviews taken in groups, however, they are differently lead the one-on-one interviews. These are more structured and yield similar data and engage the entire group members in generating, discussing, and refining the ideas. They can help in confirming the group opinions, values, and tendencies. Fourth, the surveys. Surveys are most used to collect numerical data and is collectively used with interviews. After conducting a series of interviews, typical answers or comments are identified and converted into survey questions. And the last one is document reviews. This methods involves finding and reviewing the documents such as customer feedback forms, letters of complaint, industry reports, policy documents, and critical incidents reports to understand the problem in detail. Among these, critical incidents reports will be provided information on an important event that affects the organization negatively.
Good day, my name is Danavera Jane C. Garcia from Business Administration Program. Today, I will discuss to you all about the theories of learning, training methods, and evaluating training programs. So, theories of learning is defined as process that brings together personal and environmental experiences and influence occurring enriching or modifying one's knowledge, skills, values, attitude, behavior, and worldviews. It develops hypotheses and describes how this process takes place. Also, training method is essential to avoid the unnecessary costs that come with training. Training can be the greatest tool for success of organization. Example of training methods are case study, game-based, internship, job rotation, lecture, mentoring, apprenticeship, program structure, rule modeling, and etc. And lastly, evaluating training programs. The main reason for evaluating the training program is determining whether they are accomplishing specific training objective that correct performance deficiencies. Second, to ensure any changes in trainees' capabilities are due to training program and due to conditions. Lastly, training programs should be evaluated to determine their cost effectiveness. And so, there are different ways of a person to learn new things, and there are various of trainings which can be a great help to improve or develop new knowledge, skills, or ability. Whatever learning he or she have had from the training will be applied in the field of work, and in the evaluation of the effectiveness of the training will be measured through the output, product, or result of his or her work.